Welcome to the Gadget 360 show. This is part 2 of our special where we look at the best of 2020. Like we spoke about in the first show, this was an incredible year from within all the problems that we went through with lockdowns and pandemics. Yet we turned out to be incredible in terms of the technology that got released. My panelists actually spoke about it and said that it was incredible. Not one company actually didn't release something that they were already planning to release. And a lot of innovation also came out from within here. So great to have everybody here. Happy New Year to everybody. 2021. Today we'll talk about multiple categories on the show that were the best of 2020. But more importantly, what 2021, the best of what we're really looking forward to from technology innovation and especially the products we're really looking forward to. So let's get introduced to the same panel that we had last week. And, very, very sweetly, we've all made sure that we kept the same clothes so that we come back to this show and there's continuity. So Swapnil, head of Test Center Digit, and Nishant, editor of Stuff and What Hi-Fi magazine. All right, let's get started with our first best gadgets of 2020. And we'll start off with tablets. So lots of great stuff happened with tablets. It's very strange how this entire history of tablets is really panning out in terms of technology. When tablets came in, they were supposed to kill off the laptop. Didn't really happen. From all the great stuff that happened, of course, a lot of separation has happened within the fact that there are only 2 or 3 main players now left in the tablet market. iPad, of course, from Apple, the 8th generation one came out, the iPad Pros came out, Samsung Galaxy Tab S7 Plus stood out, Microsoft Surface Go 2, which can be thought of as both a tablet and a laptop, also did make a bit of a mark. So let's find out from our panelists.
iPad Air, again, because it uses the same chip as the new iPhones, blazingly fast. The only thing that I really missed was the Pro Motion screen.
Fantastic. And Swapnil, what about you?
For me, again, it's the iPad Air 8th Gen. Not having to carry a laptop around, a gaming laptop actually, and just use a tablet instead is a game changer.
Okay, so both of you actually concur on that one. Okay, yeah. Excellent. Let's take a look at some of the other good stuff that came out in terms of tablets in 2020.
Apple made sure this year that they would revise their entire product lineup. And yes, they were successful in this ambition. The latest iPad Air is another example of that very approach. The design overhaul resulted in a new placement of the fingerprint sensor and a bigger 10.9-inch display. With the latest A14 Bionic chip and a starting price of 54,900 rupees, the new iPad Air deserves all the props. The ultimate Android tablet, yes, the Tab S7 Plus has earned that title. And why? Well, for one, it has got all the ingredients of a nearly perfect tablet. A 12.4-inch Super AMOLED WQXGA+ display that supports a refresh rate of 120 Hz. With added accessories and a powerful chipset like Qualcomm Snapdragon 865 Plus, this flagship tablet by Samsung holds its position on the top. The flagship title comes with a heavy price tag since the Galaxy Tab S7 Plus starts at a price of 71,999 rupees. Talk about closing the gap between tablets and laptops. Microsoft Surface Go 2 came really close to blurring the line in 2020. The compact tablet with a 10.5-inch screen can easily transition into a very powerful portable PC the moment you slap on the proprietary type cover. While you can't perform heavy-duty tasks on it, the Surface Go 2 beats regular laptops in day-to-day computing in a heartbeat. Starting at 42,999 rupees, the Surface Go 2 gained favorable reviews for an improved design over its predecessor.
And back from tablets, let's move on to the other category that really was shining in the sun this entire time. And we all suddenly realized how important a laptop is in our lockdown and the pandemic. I mean, a laptop really was worth its weight in gold and lots of great stuff came out. But let's find out from the panel, best laptop of the year. I'll start with you, Swapnil.
The Apple Macbook Pro 13-inch with the M1 chip. I'm getting about 18 hours of battery life on this. I charge it once in 3 days. It's so compact and I can do all of my editing on it.
All right.
It's really a no-brainer.
For me, the MacBook Air with the new M1 chip, because like Swapnil said, it has all the same goodness, just without the fan. But apart from that, the same fantastic battery life. I mean, I'm charging it once in 3 or 4 days. And I don't think any other laptop can keep up with that claim. So clearly the M1.
Yeah, and also the experience is really starting to look and feel very different. I mean, that instant on is like you actually put on a phone, and some of the native apps also just come on exactly like you have an app in a phone. It's a very different feeling, and I think it's something that I'm really looking forward to should happen in the other world, also the Windows world. But here's a look at some of the other laptops that really made the grade this year.
The Macbook Pro has always been the go-to media machine for artists and content creators, but the M1 chip variant pushes the envelope to a whole new level. Not only does the latest MacBook Pro perform better in every aspect, but lasts longer while doing it with its improved battery life. Fortunately, there were no price hike by Apple this year with the M1 chip, and the latest MacBook Pro still starts at Rs 1,22,900, which definitely adds a star to its already stellar status. The M1 chip has made its entry into the chassis of the MacBook Air as well. Surprisingly, with this addition, the latest MacBook Air has turned out to be a super value for money proposition in the entire MacBook lineup. The performance has improved by a huge margin, and we get to see a standby time of over 18 hours. Starting at Rs 92,900, the M1 MacBook Air scores big in the price to performance tangent. For the gamers out there, Acer Predator Triton 300 scored big. The latest gaming laptop by Acer carries the best features that you expect in a gaming laptop. From a 15.6-inch display with a refresh rate of 240Hz to a powerful NVIDIA GeForce GTX 1650 GPU, this gaming laptop has got it all. Starting at Rs 89,900, the Acer Predator Triton 300 is an absolute banger. Thinkpad X1 Carbon represents just how good institutional computers can be. The sleek design and powerful performance has made this laptop a consumer favorite. The Intel Core i9 10th Gen processor delivers smooth performance and amazing battery optimization. This premium machine comes at a price of Rs 1,41,550. Asus expanded its portfolio in 2020 with its ExpertBook lineup. The poster boy of this latest series was ExpertBook B9. The compact laptop is lightweight and features an ergo lift hinge. Powered by 10th Gen Intel i7 processor, ExpertBook B9 is an absolute beast. Starting at Rs 1,02,228, it competes against the likes of Lenovo ThinkPad lineup. Dell's XPS series made a comeback this year, and boy was it amazing. Out of the lineup, XPS 13 made the most noise. This compact laptop comes with a 4K UHD display that features a 100% RGB color gamut. Powered by Intel's latest 10th Gen Ice Lake processor, the XPS 13 is truly one amazing piece of technology. Starting at a price of Rs 1,44,807, the XPS 13 checks all the boxes for a perfect Windows machine.
Now let's move on to our next category, lifestyle tech. I know this is a very, far-ranging, all things possible kind of a thing. But, great stuff came out this year that actually can be labeled great lifestyle tech. I mean, Dyson Coral, Motorola Moto Razr 2020 was a great lifestyle product because it brought nostalgia and innovation together. Samsung Airdresser, Dyson Light Cycle, exercise bikes, the Whirlpool Intellifresh Pro Refrigerator, lots and lots of things where it wasn't a gimmick. It wasn't just a device that got IoT or Wi-Fi or a screen slapped onto it, but things that made a difference. So let's find out from the panel what they think is the best lifestyle tech product of 2020.
It was a new brand from China. It's called XGMI. They make portable projectors. It's a very small portable projector that just looks like a can of soda, and it has 1080p. It has full HD resolution. It has about 300 ANSI lumens of brightness, and you can carry it around from room to room. It lasts for 4 hours with a built-in battery.
And Swapnil, what about you?
Rajiv, for me, it would have to be the AirPods Max because it's the price sets it apart as a lifestyle product for sure. We've seen Apple really kill it with sound on the HomePod, HomePod Mini, the AirPods, AirPods Pro, everywhere. So I think these headphones from Apple would be the lifestyle product of the year as well.
So let's take a look at some other lifestyle tech that really stood out.
We talk lifestyle tech and don't count in Dyson? Yeah, that's not possible. While the brand introduced multiple beauty tech options this year, Dyson Coral stood out for us. The wireless hair straightener looks straight out of the future and comes with flexing plates that curve around the hair and avoid the splaying effect that might damage your hair. The Dyson logo means heavy price, and the situation is no different here. The Coral comes with a hefty price tag of Rs 36,900. Another year and another Moto Razr. While the Moto Razr 2019 was appreciated for its design and innovation, Motorola took the latest Moto Razr to a whole new level in 2020 with a sturdy hinge, better display and of course 5G connectivity. But this blink costs a whopping 98,999 rupees. Whirlpool rekindled the home appliance sector in 2020 by introducing their latest Intellifresh Pro Refrigerator. Available in multiple variants, this refrigerator packs in 3D cooling technology, which helps to maintain a uniformity in cooling patterns across multiple compartments. 355 liters variant of this high-tech fridge costs Rs 47,250, which makes it a great option.
And now let's move on to something that I always enjoy doing, because what's great tech if it isn't the kind of tech where some of them really brutally fail? So best tech fails of 2020, there's lots. I mean, some of the personal ones that I like or don't like. The failure of technology this year phone design became too generic. Everybody started looking like the other. A 10,000 rupee phone and a 1 lakh phone the same. Google service crashing. Tesla models SNX getting recalled in China. Cyberpunk apologizing and games getting removed. The kind of security issues we've had from things like Zoom, Google failing this year. No charger in the box of the new iPhone. Google not releasing all their Pixel phones in India. I mean, what are you doing, Google? But let's find out from our panel what they think is the tech fail of the year. Swapnil?
So for me, my choice would be a little offbeat. So Garmin earlier this year fell prey to a ransomware attack, and their entire server network was down, all of it, for 2 weeks. You could not sync activity from your watch to your smartphone.
So I mean, when you're talking about this, it seems like there's a lot of emotion in your voice. It's a very personal story. So it seems like Garmin really hung you out to dry, and that's also why you switched from a Garmin watch to another. So this is really something that hit you very hard personally, right?
It did. The Garmin I used was basically to help me monitor my sleep and also with my fitness. I've been actually trying to remain fit during my lockdown period. I know it doesn't look like it, but I've been trying. And not being able to get that data across to my trainer was a huge, huge problem.
So Nishant, any personal stories that brutally hit you hard, became tech fail of the year?
The form factor of things, like we discussed earlier, it could be folding phones. And also, I think TVs started shape-shifting. Like Samsung had 2 new TVs this year, the Cero, which actually you can rotate into a portrait mode as well. So you can wirelessly cast your content if you want from your phone and look at pictures and Instagram in the aspect ratio it's supposed to be seen. And they have something called the Samsung Serif. In an age where, the bezels are getting thinner and almost invisible, they actually slapped on an even thicker bezel just to try and emulate a font, a serif font. So again, great ideas in terms of theory, but they don't really work so well in implementation.
So too much gimmickry in form factor that played out this year is something that you're not too happy with. Great. I think those are fantastic choices from both of you. But let's take a look at what the Gadget 360 team thought were the tech fails of the year.
While Tesla cars are the undisputed champion in the EV industry today, we did see the brand roll into some serious trouble in 2020. The Elon Musk-owned company had to recall a total of 29,193 US-made Tesla Model X and S cars that were exported to China. The vehicles built between September 17, 2013 and January 15, 2018 had potentially faulty front and rear suspensions. A tech fail that broke a lot of hearts in consoles in 2020 was Cyberpunk 2077. The game that was first teased in 2009 was in development for over 11 years. After multiple release dates that were inevitably postponed, a Keanu Reeves cameo and some exciting DLC bundles, nothing could save Cyberpunk 2077 from failing. While gamers on last-gen consoles complained that the game lags on their machines, gamers with high-end PCs are not happy either. Situation is not getting any better with CD Projekt Red since the game's developer is facing a class action lawsuit for alleged violations of federal security laws. Google faced some serious heat in 2020 when it decided to not launch the entire Pixel smartphone lineup in India. Google's budget-friendly option this year, Pixel 4a, was launched in India and received generally favorable reviews. But its decision to not roll out the Pixel 5 phones did not go down well with the tech community, which called out the tech giant on social media.
All right, now we're coming to the interesting part where we start talking about the future, that is 2021. So, so many things that we believe will become either trends. So we'll talk about a lot of things out here. We'll talk about trends that we are seeing. We're talking about innovation that we'll see in 2021. Plus, I will put out the panelists actually to choose one or two products that they can't wait for in 2021, and they can't be your typical ones, which is an upgrade to the previous one.
Rajiv, for me, if I had to talk about one trend I'm really looking forward to in 2021, it would be to do with displays. We've seen hints of we've seen a lot of foldable, but flexible, rollable, all sorts of shapes and sizes. We've seen so much going on with displays this year that I think next year, 2021, is when we start seeing the commercial rollout of a lot of these technologies and people getting it in their hands. And that's what I'm really excited about.
All right, great. So now I'm pinning you down to two products.
First would be a 16-inch MacBook Pro with the new M series chip. That is definitely one of them. And the second would be any company that can put out a display with a mini LED panel. I think as a content creator and somebody who loves watching movies, mini LED for me is it's the future for me.
All right, great. Nishant, some trends and things about 2021 that you'd like to talk about, and then of course your two top products that you're waiting for.
I'm really looking forward to 5G because we've been shown the promise for so long, and the fact that it's just around the corner, and by that I don't mean that you actually have to stand at a particular street corner at a particular angle and hold the phone at a particular head tilt to get 5G. I want 5G to be everywhere, pervasive throughout the country. The two products that I would want to see personally being commercially possible in 2021 is finally Dolby Vision coming to projectors. Because even now, I mean, even though we've seen the whole implementation of HDR very easy on TVs, it's not that easy to implement that in the projector space. And until now, we still are limited to HDR10 on projectors. So I really want to see Dolby Vision come to projectors. And the other one would be the proliferation of the Apple M1 chip into other Apple devices, because this is, I think, finally the moment, the pivotal moment where we might see, I don't know when we might get the hybrid Apple product, where it's part iPad and part MacBook, but the closest we can get is through the M1 chip, you can actually use iOS apps on your MacBook, either Air or Pro. So I'm looking forward to that ecosystem getting even more tighter.
All right, great. So some great predictions and some great products that we've spoken about. But of course, we had our opinion. So let's take a look at what we believe 2021 will bring.
We hope that when we do this segment next year, 5G is already a reality in India. There is a reason to be positive about it since Mr. Mukesh Ambani announced at the India Mobile Congress in 2020 that Reliance Jio will be rolling out 5G network in the second half of 2021. Unlike the network providers in the West, Jio's 5G network will be using indigenous technology components and hardware. Apple's first silicon has proved its mantle this year with the amazing performance and battery optimization it brought to the MacBooks. The 5nm silicon chip is a breakthrough for computing, and we're curious to see how the Cupertino giant programs the chip to further improve its iMac lineup. To add a cherry on top, we can expect M1 optimized apps to roll out by mid-2021. While we're all excited about the revolution the M1 chip is bringing to Apple's Mac lineup, it is fair to assume that Apple's first SoC will prove to be a stimulant in the industry and will encourage more brands to come up with their own processors. As of today, Intel and AMD are still eating a majority of the pie when it comes to market share, but this trend might change soon. However, our panelist Nishant Padhiar has a different opinion about it.
I think there's a lot of vested interest for Intel and all the other PC and Windows-based PC brands as well. So I don't think it's going to happen overnight, but I'm sure it's going to make a lot of brands sit up and think that why did we not think of this earlier? And Apple has always had the advantage, and one of their biggest USPs since the very beginning and inception of the brand has been that close association of hardware and software, which is I think the culmination is the M1 chip. But it's not that it's not going to be that seamless for PC manufacturers purely because they don't have the supply chain so tightly in control like Apple does.
It took one tweet by Tesla CEO Elon Musk to create a hype among auto and tech enthusiasts in India. Tesla in the past has shown its interest in the Indian market, but 2021 might just be the year when we see Tesla EVs on Indian roads. If reports are to be believed, Tesla is planning to enter the Indian market before June 2021, with Tesla Model 3 to go on sale first with an expected price of 55 lakh rupees.
All right. Thank you so much for joining us on the show. And Nishant, for all the time that you put in. Swapnil, thank you so much for joining us and telling us a lot more about all the cool stuff that happened in 2020 and will happen in 2021. Thank you, gentlemen, for your time. And thank you, everybody in the audience that actually joined us on these two special shows. Of course, we're looking forward to all of you telling us what you thought were the best in each categories. These were just our suggestions, our thoughts, our opinions, but I'm sure you've gone out and bought things that were great, that were not so good. So do tell us the best products, the best categories, and of course, absolutely, we're more than happy to even know your sob stories, things that you bought but didn't turn out to be that great. So we'd love to know what 2020 was all about for you and what you believe 2021 will bring. See you next week.